but it was a very explicitly in-the-moment speech, and one I think that draws the kind of contrast that the Biden campaign has tried to do but has not always succeeded in doing in this campaign year.
And we're going to hear more of those themes from the president later today. And what aides say is even a bigger speech than the one yesterday. It won't perhaps have the international spotlight because it doesn't come on the anniversary of D-Day, but it's aimed far more at American audiences. And Donnie, to Susan's point, part of the implicit contrast that Biden will make, because at this point we don't expect him to use Trump's name, is indeed what it could mean for alliances in Europe and Ukraine. But it's also about the need to defend democracy at home. And Biden aides have pointed out to me this week that in some ways Donald Trump's making their case for them. While President Biden is overseas talking about democracy, what is Donald Trump doing? Railing against the rule of law, railing against one of the fundamental tenets, the foundation of American democracy here at home. But my question to you is that argument going to resonate with voters?
I think it absolutely is. And I want to just pile on Susan's point. Contrast is everything in this election. And I think the military is the greatest example to show the contrast between two men. You see Donald Trump, who, got off, didn't serve because of bunions, and allegedly told John Kelly, his chief of staff, that as they were at a cemetery looking at fallen heroes, why would any person be a sucker and give their life for their country? And that's all you need to know about Donald Trump. And I've said this before, and I think the most compelling advertising campaign would be centered around the military. If we got Mattis, McMaster, Milley, and Kelly to go to screen and say, look, this country cannot stand Donald Trump. The defense of this country will not stand Donald Trump. We are great Americans. We believe in this country. We trust this country. We know this country. You can't vote for Donald Trump. I think the military is the secret weapon in this election. I hope those ads come to fruition.
To that point, Donnie, President Biden did not mention Donald Trump by name during his remarks in Normandy, but his 2024 campaign has released a new ad featuring 3 veterans who say the former president is unfit for office.
A good commander-in-chief is somebody who gives a My name is Curtis Register. I served in the United States Marine Corps.
My name is Ed McCabe. I served from the 1990s into 2014.
Hey, my name is Matthew McLaughlin. I was a Navy pilot for 8 years.
It is the first time I'm shaking the hands of a president of the United States. It was pretty impactful to me to see an individual that supports troops not just on the battlefield, but when we return home.
I see a man in Joe Biden who accepts accountability and responsibility. And when I see his predecessor, Donald Trump, I see a man who is only in this for himself.
Who criticizes veterans, who doesn't see it important for him to go to the funerals.
Donald Trump has zero accountability in his life.
He's a draft dodger, simple as that.
I think the election is the difference between authoritarianism and democracy. And I came to see a president that cares about maintaining democracy.
Donald Trump, he's not fit to be commander-in-chief. He's not fit to lead a squad, and he's definitely not fit to be president of the United States.
A new ad this morning from the Biden-Harris campaign. Donnie, what do you think?
I love it. I hadn't seen that ad, and I was talking about the generals, but seeing the servicemen, seeing the military people, seeing our vets speak. You know, there's nothing more American. There's nothing that brings us together more than the military. And to me, and Donald Trump has trashed it, and he's trashed every institution. And I think, and I said this before, I said before seeing that ad, and I believe it more than ever before, the military is the secret weapon. Let's let it loose.
Jean, there's a lot of discussion, as you know, in this town at the moment about President Biden's ability following that Wall Street Journal article, which I know has had, holes poked in it, but it's still causing quite. I was at a meeting of Democrats last night, and they were not bedwetting. I don't like that phrase, because they were just raising kind of concerns about, how President Biden is doing. What are you hearing from the campaign about how much more they're going to get the president out, how much more they're going to get him speaking to people, how they're going to handle those concerns that are not disappearing amongst Democratic ranks?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not hearing any huge changes coming, except, of course, they're looking ahead to the debate, assuming the debate actually happens, as an opportunity for President Biden to once again show that he's capable and fit and sharp and alert, and I think they're very quite confident in his ability to perform in that setting, and to show a contrast between himself and Donald Trump. And I think we have seen him. He gave that interview to ABC the other day. I hope we see more interviews. I hope we see him more, because I think that's to the campaign's advantage. But the debate is the next big point. I think the next big moment that everybody is looking forward to.
And let's remember, President Biden going to visit tomorrow Belleau Woods, where the famous battle the United States Marines waged in World War I, where that is the place where former President Trump, during a visit in 2018, according to former General Kelly, his chief of staff, was quoted as saying, "These are losers and suckers, people who have died for the country." Donald Trump did return to the campaign trail yesterday for the first time since he was convicted of 34 felonies last week in Phoenix, Arizona. State Trump